Hi there, my name is Sergey and I'm working as team lead in quite big company. And I want to show you how to use ChatGPT to optimize your processes in the team. First of all, it will be not about any funny things which ChatGPT can do, but it will be about tech processes. As a team lead, I'm leading Scrum procedures, I'm working with product owners, QA, developers, and so on. So my main goal to show how it can help in these processes. I will give you some tips which will help you to work with ChatGPT. First of all, if you are not native English speaker, you can speak on your native language with it. But respond should be in English. It work much faster if it responded in English and much more efficient. So you can say I will write to you in my native language, but you will respond me in English. Then you can translate it in Google Translate or any other tool and work like that, because in that case his response will be much more better. Second tip, context is a key. If you start the conversation with a specific role, like act as C# senior developer, like act as director of backend, act of senior product owner, and so on, you will get different answers based on the context. It's very important, and sometimes it gets really different results. Please use it. Okay, so in our team has 3 persons, product owner, QA, and developer. 3 roles, I mean. So let's check how each role can use ChatGPT. Let's imagine that we have story. I just copy paste it from our Jira. I will not go to details of the story, it's just a description from Jira. It describes what background, what current flow exists, what scope of the task, some details of the tasks, and so on. So what I will try to do, I will try to work with a ChatGPT like here. First of all, I will ask him to act as experienced PO. Here is my story for developers. Now I'm trying to ask him what is missing in the story, what potentially can be added here. So what is missing for this story? What else can be covered? So he says that the story you provided is quite comprehensive and provide clear context, blah blah blah, but he says that we need to think about security, about error handling, about testing strategy, about performance requirement, and rollback plan. Let's check what else. Okay, first of all, we can think what here can be added. Yes, maybe it's really missing some important parts. From what I'm seeing, and I'm as developer like when stories has acceptance tests. Yeah, so let's try that. Let's try ask him to add acceptance test for provided story. Okay, here he provided acceptance test. PO can include it in the task. Maybe with some changes, yes. It's not ideally story, yes. Maybe we can provide some additional data and it's okay because it's not a human and it can contain some mistakes, some misunderstanding. Maybe we need to control what exactly we need to do in this story, maybe some clarification and so on. But in general like that. Okay, now I want to, SPO, I want to understand how can I check that story completed correctly. Let's ask like that. And let's try to write a checklist. And let's see. By the way, you see, he's learning, he's analyzing his responses also. So in initial story, there was no any think about security, about error handling. But when we asked him what is missing, he provided these steps, and now it's included in checklist. And here you can see that we have for each requirement additional separated check. Okay, now I want him to create a demo plan for me. Create a demo plan which I will show to business. No, I will not show demo plan, yes, which I can use, to show this story to business. Try to be more specific. So it's not just set your points, yes, but it's also provide some additional information like what should be introduction, what background, and so on. By the way, Klaviyo is a system which receives some events and sending notification for customers. If you will check the initial story, in the story we are not saying anything that customer should receive email. But ChatGPT smart enough to understand that we are doing that to send email, yes, and we see that here is point about that customer should receive a mail. Okay, so what we do for PO? We clarify that all required information is mentioned in the story. By the way, we can ask him to help create separate points, and he will provide some steps to do it. Also, we created acceptance tests for story. And then we create a checklist to check that story ready. And finally we created demo. Now we can also ask him to create documentation which we can use to store in Confluence. So it creates documentation. It's pretty simple to what we had in initial requirements, but after learning of this thing, it will add some additional points and restructure it. By the way, ChatGPT knows nothing about our system, but it's quite understand how payment system related to communication system and so on to Klaviyo. It's really great. It even mentioned rollback plan. By the way, sometimes it's very important. Great, so I can use this story and place it inside our Confluence. So this is how PO can work with this, yes. Now let's move to the QA. So how QA can use this ChatGPT? Let's act as senior QA. Create test cases, of course, test cases for mentioned story. Let's wait a bit. It's still in beta and a bit overloaded, so sometimes it's not fast. Okay, so we see topics of text cases, yes? Now let's go deeper. Let's ask to describe first 3 points in details. Let's see what will happen. Wow. It's stuck. Let's ask again. So we see that it's generating more informative test cases with details. But I'm not sure that it is enough, you know. Let's ask him this way. Could you describe it in more professional way? Sorry. Not quite specific query from me, but he already in context, and let's check if it changed anything or not. I'm not sure. You know, it looks pretty the same. And by the way, laggy, because you see again it stopped in the middle. Let's try to learn to teach him what is the best practices to write test cases. Include preconditions, yes, and precondition exists, but not in the way I want to see it. So let's use these practices and rewrite test cases mentioned before. It's thinking too long today. Usually it a bit faster. So you see, now it works a bit different. Test objective, precondition, test steps. It's much more well described. Expected result. So me as team lead This description, I like it. I like it much more than an initial way. Of course, these test cases should be validated by QA, and they should understand that it's not final vision, yes, so they can use it and think if they created it in that way or not, or if they forgot maybe something. Okay, so we have several test cases. What else can we do? Our QA is ready to write automation tests for it. Yeah, so let's ask to create automation test scenario for this test for short test case. Okay, let's ask to create automation test using Selenium and Python. Quite common description, but again, it's not for final solution. It's for understanding that how to, not even understanding, but you can see details which you can forget by yourself. So as you can see, it creates even code. Of course, it should be rewritten, but you see that it even put comments which describe what exactly it's doing and so on. I'm not automation QA, so I'm not sure if this code good or not good. Really, I don't know. But in general, this ability is really cool. So you can even take your manual QA and trying to automate his test with this tool, just to start. Okay, so that's it what I wanted to mention for QA. Of course, there are a lot more abilities which can be done with this tool, but in general, that's it. I will not try to use generation of code to implement the story, because it is quite specific, and it differs from story to story, and developers should not work with this tool to write their code. But what I want to show for you as developer, if you're interested in it as developer, I will give you example. So for example, in AWS we had a problem with traffic. Traffic was too much, and we spent around $500 just to store some information for SQS there. And we wanted to optimize it. So what I did, I will open the chat. I just asked him how to reduce S3 traffic in AWS while using it for SQS. And it gave me several abilities. So, compress files before uploading them to S3. Great option. And actually we did it before I went here. But next options are quite amazing. It knows about AWS infrastructure. It knows how it works and so on. So it provides me additional option which I can use to save this traffic. It's really amazing. It's much more than just search engine like Google, yes, now. And for example, I don't know what is S3 intelligent tiering and how it can help, yes. So I can ask what is it exactly, and it describe me what is it. Yes, I don't know. Let's try to. How can I set up it? Give me detailed instruction. So it's not only for developers but for DevOps also, yes. Let's wait. So as you see, it's full instructions, and even you as technical lead need to improve your S3 traffic. You can go to ChatGPT, ask him what can be done, and not just only have the list, yes, but you can have instruction for each point. And even more, you can ask more specific question. How to compress files before uploading them to S3? Create C# code example for it. Yes, why not? We are trying. I'm not saying that it is a good option for your developers. Go to this tool and generate code, but sometimes it can give good ideas. It knows libraries, it knows any of existing examples of code, so it can compile for you quite interesting ideas. Here it is working like console application, but again, it's example. You can give context like working in MVC framework or anything, and in that case it will rewrite to this context. Also, it can use patterns, it can use additional libraries if you want, and so on. So just say it can work with MS SQL like AdaNet or like Entity Framework or LinkU.net and so on. So what is here? Here is example of using gzip stream, file stream, and its upload to Amazon client with bucket name, which you should place here and so on. So you can use this like example for your developers again, with some explanation and so on. And even prerequisites, yes, quite important thing. It say what exactly you need to, what exactly Nugget package you can use. Amazing. And now what also routine work which any developer don't like. Create unit test for it using an unit lib. Let's try. I hope they release version 4 as soon as possible, and it will be much more faster. By the way, you know, in any other languages except of English, it works so slow. I'm not able to use it in my native language. So it, as you see, it uses attributes, quite specific attributes. And here is test case. I'm not sure that it is a good example of test case. Not good at all. I don't want to make request to Amazon. Let's wait a bit while it finishes. Okay, I was not specific, yes, what exactly it should do. What can we test here? I want to make sure that file was compressed mock compressed, and I don't want to send file from this test to Amazon. So create test for it. So this test is declined, but again, it was too wide definition what you need to do, yes. Now we defined more clear task, and let's check. So file passed, compressed file passed. Verify that compressed file is smaller than the original file. Much better, much better. So actually it can be used, yes. Why not? So again, artificial intelligence will not replace people, but people who knows how to work with it will replace people who is not. It's quite important point. What else can be covered with unit tests here? So it showed me options, yes, what exactly can be tested. Compression ratio, different file types, exception handling. You see how much tests you can do on this small part of the code. So let's try to write first point in C#. Let's check. So the same, by the way, we can ask ChatGPT to move some common parts in the separate method, and it will do it. It can create setup methods and so on. I tested it before and it looks good. So compression rate. So length, the original file length, and less or equal to 0.5. Great, why not? Okay, so actually that's all what I wanted to show you today. So what we covered? We covered processes in the Scrum team for product owner, for QA, and for developers. So you see that this ChatGPT can be used in the development team to enhance their abilities, their performance. ChatGPT will not replace you, but it really give a boost. So use it, and it will lead to success. I'm pretty sure that it is revolution, and we are only on the first step of it. So see you in the next videos. I will show you another areas of using ChatGPT. Thank you all. Bye.